Hi. Have you ever wondered who lived in Texas long before the cowboys, the oil booms, and even the Alamo? The story of Texas begins thousands of years ago, with the diverse and fascinating Native American peoples who called this land home. Today, we're going on a journey back in time to explore the lives, cultures, and enduring legacies of the first Texans. Let's start by picturing Texas, not as a single state, but as a vast mosaic of different environments. Yet in the swampy, humid forests of East Texas lived the Caddo. These weren't nomadic people. They were master farmers. The Caddo built incredible societies, living in large permanent villages with impressive dome-shaped houses made of grass and wood. They cultivated corn, beans, and squash in fertile river valleys. The Caddo were also known for their beautiful pottery, intricate basketry, and a sophisticated social and political structure. They formed a powerful confederacy of tribes, and their influence stretched far beyond modern-day Texas. In fact, the name Texas itself comes from the Caddo word Tejus, which means friends or allies. So, every time we say Texas, we're honoring their legacy of friendship. Now, let's travel west, out onto the vast, windswept plains of the Panhandle. This was the domain of the legendary Plains tribes, most notably the Comanche and the Apache. Their lives were completely transformed by two major arrivals: the horse, brought by the Spanish, and the buffalo. These tribes became masters of the equestrian lifestyle. Imagine the thunder of 1,000,000 buffalo hooves and the skilled hunters who could ride alongside them. The Comanche, known as the Lords of the Plains, were particularly formidable. They were expert horsemen and fierce warriors, building an empire that dominated the southern plains for over a century. Their lives were nomadic, following the great buffalo herds which provided everything they needed: food from the meat, shelter and clothing from the hides, and tools from the bones. Their entire culture was woven around the rhythm of the hunt and the freedom of the open plains. Heading down to the sun-baked coast of the Gulf of Mexico, we meet a completely different group of people. The Karankawa. Life on the coast was all about adapting to the water. The Karankawa were skilled fishermen and hunter-gatherers. They traveled in dugout canoes, harvesting oysters, clams, and fish from the bays and estuaries. 2. They were known for being exceptionally tall and were famous for their distinctive tattoos and body paint. Unlike the Caddo, they were nomadic, moving between the coast in the winter and inland areas in the summer to hunt and gather plants. Their knowledge of the coastal environment was unparalleled, allowing them to thrive in a challenging landscape that others found inhospitable. And what about the arid, rugged lands of West Texas and the Rio Grande Valley? This region was home to the Jumano people. The Jumano were remarkable because they were masters of adaptation and trade. They lived in an area where different worlds met. Some Jumano were farmers, using irrigation techniques to grow crops along the Rio Grande. Others were nomadic hunters on the plains. But what truly set them apart was their role as middlemen. They established extensive trade networks that connected the Pueblo peoples of New Mexico with the Caddo of East Texas. They would trade agricultural products from the west for buffalo hides and other goods from the east. Their villages became bustling centers of commerce, a crossroads of cultures. Sadly, disease and raids from other tribes, like the Apache, led to their decline. And their story is one of the more mysterious chapters in Texas history. Life for these native Texan groups was rich and complex. They had deep spiritual beliefs, often centered on nature and the world around them. They told stories passed down through generations, created art, and developed intricate social systems. They understood the land in a way that modern society is only beginning to appreciate, practicing a form of sustainability that ensured their survival for millennia. However, the arrival of European explorers, first the Spanish, then the French, and later Anglo-Americans, brought catastrophic changes. New diseases, to which the native peoples had no immunity, wiped out huge portions of their populations. The Caddo, for instance, were decimated by epidemics. The fight for land and resources led to constant conflict. The Spanish tried to convert tribes through the mission system, fundamentally changing their way of life. Later, the Republic of Texas and the United States government pursued policies of removal and extermination. The buffalo, the lifeblood of the Plains tribes, were hunted to near extinction. Not just for their hides, but as a deliberate strategy to force the tribes onto reservations. The great horse cultures of the Comanche and Kiowa were broken. By the late 1800s, the vast majority of native Texans had been killed, forced to leave the state, or confined to small reservations, often in present-day Oklahoma. Their ancestral lands were taken, and their cultures were suppressed. It's a tragic and difficult part of our shared history. But the story doesn't end there. This is incredibly important. The descendants of these tribes are still here. Today, Texas is officially home to 3 federally recognized tribes. The Alabama Coushatta Tribe of Texas, located in East Texas. The Kickapoo Traditional Tribe of Texas, near Eagle Pass. And the Isleta del Sur Pueblo, near El Paso. These sovereign nations are vibrant communities working to preserve their languages, traditions, and cultural heritage. They run businesses, govern themselves, and contribute to the rich cultural tapestry of modern Texas. Beyond these 3 tribes, thousands of Texans identify as Native American, with ancestry from the Caddo, Comanche, Apache, and many other nations that were historically tied to this land. They are artists, teachers, leaders, and community members. Powwows and cultural events across the state celebrate and share their heritage, reminding us all of the enduring spirit and resilience of the first Texans. Their voices and stories are crucial to understanding the full, complex history of this state. So, the next time you drive through the piney woods of East Texas, picture the Caddo villages. When you see the wide-open plains, remember the thunder of the buffalo and the skill of the Comanche riders. And when you visit the coast, think of the Karankawa in their canoes. The legacy of native Texans is written on the land itself. It's in the names of our rivers and cities, in the foods we eat, and in the spirit of resilience that defines Texas. It's a story of incredible diversity, profound connection to the land, and unbreakable endurance. Thanks for joining me on this journey through Texas history. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories. See you next time.